Do not attempt the techniques you are about to see without consulting a professional.
Oh, salsa!
I'm Michael Gascon, the horse guru. I have the amazing job of traveling around the world fixing the world's most problematic horses. You're gonna see all kinds of breeds and all kinds of horse problems. We're gonna train the untrainable, ride the unrideable, and do the impossible. Just like on Nitro Circus, man, the opening is everything. It tells you exactly what you need to see.
I was born from the bottom, raised to the top. I was born from the bottom, raised to the top. I was born from the bottom, raised to the top. I'ma keep on climbing, I ain't gon' stop. I was born from the bottom, raised to the top. I was born from the bottom, raised to the top. I was born from the bottom, raised to the top. I'ma keep on climbing, I ain't gon' stop. I was born from the bottom, raised to the top.
So this has been a real awesome opportunity to get the chance to come to Red Fox. Myself and the folks at Red Fox Farm have been competing with each other in the Pasofino world for years, my whole life growing up. So although I've known the folks at Red Fox Farm my whole life, this is actually my first opportunity to go to their farm. And when we showed up on the ranch, it was absolutely beautiful. I didn't realize how old and historic the ranch was and the house was. They live in a house from the 1800s and everything is pristine and beautiful and just the way that it was in the old times. They even have a courtyard on the outside where they have brick walls enclosing the house and a balcony, a porch, everything inside of the courtyard. It was really cool to see the house and how they kept it intact and how they kept restoring it in the same way to stay up with the times that it was made in. It's a beautiful space with some great people and we get to work some problem ponies. What more can one ask for?
Hey guys, I'm Michael Gascon, the horse guru. Today we're here in Poplarville, Mississippi at the Gascon Horsemanship Ranch. Here in South Mississippi, it's always fair weather, it's always sunny and bright. We have over 1,000 acres to ride on, just trails and obstacle courses, ponds to ride the horses through, just an amazing place to be. Everybody has their niche. We have an amazing reining trainer, amazing trick trainer, we have an amazing Pasofino trainer, and the list goes on and on. And when you come here, it's just hard not to get swept up in the environment and the peace, love, and positivity that we have here on the ranch. We have a Western hotel, we have cabins, cowboy quarters, RV spots. People come and bunk with us and learn the knowledge that we've gained over 5 generations of horsemen. My mother was a horse trainer. She was the second youngest woman to ever win Congress in the 80s, and she was Miss Rodeo, North Carolina. And my father was a superstar Pasofino trainer, winning national championships and world championships back to back to back. And there were always problem horses in and around. So ever since passing it down to me, I decided that I didn't want to just be a regular horse trainer. I wanted to share our knowledge, our education, our history with the world so you can communicate easier with your horse. So the big difference in the revolution that we're bringing to the horse industry is not wearing our horse out to get what we want. We use simplicity and communication to get everything that we want out of the horse. And we'll work 10 to a dozen horses a day. And not only do we work 10 to a dozen horses a day, there will be 10 to 12 different breeds a day. And those 10 different horses are all gonna progress, all gonna play soccer, all gonna do obstacles, all gonna do things that their owners thought impossible the day before. People say, how can one person work so many different breeds? It's because we're speaking the language of the horse. If you try to make the horse learn your language, you may have success, but you're gonna have to make every horse along the way speak your language. If you add a little pressure to yourself and you learn how to speak the language of the horse, then you can talk to any horse around the world.
So working with Zeke. Zeke is Zeke the Unrideable. Imagine how bad off that he was that the owner, knowing that she was coming to our clinic, didn't bring him on the first day. because in her mind, we couldn't help him in 1 day or 2 days, and he had already been scheduled to be euthanized because she thought he was too dangerous to let anybody else have him or let anybody else get hurt with him.
When I got him, I knew he reared, I knew he bucked. I've been working with him for a year. I've not been able to get him to stop doing it. Lately, he's been breaking ties. Every time I get in the saddle, he goes up.
He had already been decided that, you know, he was too unsafe for the public, so he was gonna have to get put down because he's already hurt people by flipping over backwards. And flipping over backwards is a serious problem for a lot of people because there's very few people out there that are comfortable dealing with a problem like that, especially when you get hurt. So he had already hurt a couple people, and they were very subconscious and very worried about him hurting somebody else, and they didn't want that to happen.
He's so reactive. I was not sure what I was going to do with him. I didn't think I could give him away. I was thinking that I might have to put him down because I think he's dangerous, and I've not been able to ride him.
If we can't deal with him, who in the world can? And with that approach, whenever they told us about Zeke and you know how his end was going to be, we wanted to get him in and show them, just give a glimmer of hope to the owner that he could be fixed.
I'm hoping that Michael can fix it. So my friends are driving 6 hours here with him to have Michael work with him in the clinic. So I'm excited.
So after coming on Saturday and seeing us work some of the other horses, she started gaining the confidence that she could bring it to us and maybe they could work him. Maybe they could give him a second chance. So after we were able to talk her into bringing Zeke, they brought him overnight from 6 hours away to show up. We had one chance and one opportunity to work with Zeke. A 30 to 45 minute opportunity to give him a second chance at life.
They're here.
All right, they're here. All right.
We told her a while ago that when they were 8 minutes out, so.
I think she's up there. I think she's out there.
That's where Charles is out there. Okay.
Is this Diablo?
Excuse me, my lady.
Can you put that back on the door? Yeah. Which one?
Oh, this one.
The horse one.
I gotcha.
And remember, our clinics are like the Thunderdome. I have no idea what horses are coming, what problems are showing up. I get inside the round pen or arena whenever we're gonna work, and they bring me anything of anything. The who's of horse problems. And that's what we do. That's our day-to-day routine. We're just chomping at the bit. Get it? Chomping at the bit? All right, back to the story. We were just eager to help him. We've done it all, seen it all over the years, and we just have a very straightforward and simplistic way of communicating with these problem horses. And Zeke was no different.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
For anybody that wasn't here, my name is Michael Gascon. I'll be the clinician for the remainder of the day. And this is Zeke's other right. Would you like to introduce yourself, the horse, or your goals with it?
My name is Gascon, and this is Steve, and this is Casino. And my goal is to be able to ride him without him rearing. He also doesn't like to tie without pawing, and he goes back. So, but if I could ride him, that's a start.
So when Zeke came in, they told me his problem was he would flip over backwards and land on top of folks. And the owner was very subconscious, very worried about him. So whenever she came in, of course I saw what kind of tack they were working, and they were trying to stop him from rearing up and stop him from flipping over by using a combination bit. For those of you who don't know what a combination bit is, it's a bit that goes over the nose, the mouth, and the chin. And then on top of that, that wasn't enough pressure to make the horse stop rearing. They put him with a tie down. For those of you who don't know what a tie down is, a tie down goes around the horse's face and ties to the cinch of the saddle in between their legs so that they can't pick their head up.
Remember how I tell you guys again, the only mantra that you need to think about when you think about training is control the head, control the horse. Obviously, if the horse is rearing and the horse is slipping over backwards, we're not controlling the head well enough. The horse is going to do three things in the saddle: buck, run, and rear. Any of those three things, they have to have the head locked out center. Does everybody look at this horse's face, his body, his characteristics? Do you see a little difference from the horse that walked in? We have a chance of fixing him, of teaching him something. We need him in the place, the mindset of a good student. A good student is calm, quiet, and focused. If we can't get that, then it's going to be very difficult to teach. Now that I'm an educator, I look back and realize why my teachers hate me so much. Believe it or not, I know it's hard to believe such a continuous experience. I was class clown. I know it's a big pill to swallow. Kind of like me, the class clown. They thought I was a straight A student. But the reason that they hate class clowns is because when you're the class clown, you're disrupting, you're making commotion. More importantly, you're taking the attention away. It's very difficult to train, to teach, when you don't have that attention. That's why respect and attention is the very first thing that you have to teach.
And he hasn't physically hurt me, but I'm afraid that he will, and I'm starting to get afraid to get on him. Even though he rears, I always felt I could control him. When he bucked, I felt I could control him. When I first got him, I could not touch his sides. Even touching him, he would freak out. I've worked with him, I can now touch his sides, but he's so reactive. Every time you touch him, it's like he freaks out.
Why in the world would you pull back on the rear? Not the pullback that has the horse rear. It's the lack of release. It's the lack of him figuring out how to get the pressure off of himself. So he fought the horse. See how he is right there? Expect it.
Unfortunately, when you have a horse like Zeke, if there's no pressure and release, with the emphasis on the release, whenever he rears up, he loses his balance fighting against the pressure and he flips over backwards on you. Maybe the first time he just did it by accident, but then once he figured out that, oh, if I hurt you, you'll get off my back, then he can start making it more and more intentional. So when he did rear up the first time, I went up with him, I noticed how comfortable he was up there, and I continued to put pressure. Ding, 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 making him uncomfortable, even when he was rearing. Whenever he did this, the next time he reared up again, half-heartedly, about half the height. Then the third time, his feet came this far off the ground. So basically, we brought him and started him over as if he didn't know a thing, as if he hadn't spent any time under saddle, as if he hadn't had anybody riding him out on the trails and going around. And we just started him like we're starting a fresh colt from kindergarten.
It looks like his eyes are going to pop out of his head. You know, and I just really thought I could fix him. And maybe Michael can make it so I can. He was going nowhere fast, and I really thought that I could work with him and make him better. And I really thought it was going to start working, but it just escalated to the point where I'm just not. I wasn't sure I could fix him.
Once we started in kindergarten, we noticed that he had a hard time really passing the fundamentals, the things that a trained horse should know. How to respect, how to give you your undivided attention. Once we were able to get those two things, everything else went pretty simple.
So, petrify that horse. He already hates riding. Don't you see? He argues so much. When a horse is having fun with just riding is going to get up 6 for a phone. If I get a horse that has a ridiculous flipping over problem, a bucking problem, a surgeon, a runaway problem, I need to do the utmost. I need to do so much riding forgiveness. I need to do things that one wouldn't think about doing. So that when she just hops on and wants to mosey on down the trail, Lord, this all day, it's fine. I need to do more and more. Keep his mind engaged as far as that rear goes. I want you to notice the time. Touch, touch, touch. Every time you step back, I release. Watch if his feet crop up. Oh, I know something. Tap, tap, tap. Even in the air, tap, 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 tap. The moment he takes a step back, he gets a release.
In the final test, whenever we got to the saddle, it was very important that we could get up in the saddle, and whenever he tried it, and of course he was going to, because he had already developed the resistance, whenever he would rear up, instead of starfishing is when somebody lets go of their hands and legs and releases pressure, and this teaches the horse that, hey, if you rear up, I'm going to let go.
Right there. That's going to break so much of that resistance. And a straight hunter yard has a bit that he can't back him up straight. But remember, when you have that horse straight, you're working against his whole power. 100% of his strength. Whenever we back him crooked, we're taking 50% of that muscle away. There's two big muscle groups on both sides of the crest that run over the pole, control the head. When they're straight, that's when they're in the strongest. Oh, what if he tries to rear up like that? Make sure that you have the inside hand locked. It would be very difficult for him to rear up like this because I have the grip. He wants control of his head because even though he's a rear, he's a very controlled rear. He doesn't want to hurt himself. It's not very important. He doesn't want to hurt himself at all. That's why he's giving. If he was the horse that threw himself on the ground, regardless of how many times he got back up and did it and gave him an opportunity, say, hey, that horse is the one that hurt himself to hurt you. That horse is unfixable. This is not a crazy horse. This is not an unfixable horse. This is to be a good horse. But You have to start winning from now and not give him any more wins ever. You see how the head's dropping? It gets lower. He's starting to get the concept that you're giving to me. Well, the awesome thing about him giving to me is I can be lighter and give to him.
Remember, whether you're getting paid for it or not, everybody out there who comes in contact with a horse is a horse trainer. Whether you're training them for good or bad, that's yet to be seen. But you have to be very careful about where you release that.
Because I'm able to get lighter with him. Of course, every time that he sees hurricanes off the edge of a fight, he's not going to be too happy to see people. You see whenever I switch sides, he's already turning before I am before his face. That's a horse that's losing their resistance. When they're trying to do what you want to do before you can get the chance to put the pressure on them, that's a horse that's lighting you up. See that nice stop there? You got the space. See what I mean? He gave his space there, so the chances of him not running is zero. As long as he's given, there's no way to rear. He's not going to rear. The front end is not getting heavy. The rear happens when they brace against something, whether it be your hands or whatever tool that you're trying to apply to them, or the bit that you're trying to dominate them with. They brace against it, and now they have something to go with.
I just kept thinking I could make them better and I could fix them, but I don't think I can do it by myself.
So the big difference in the revolution that we're bringing to the horse industry is not wearing our horse out to get what we want. We use simplicity and communication to get everything that we want out of the horse. If you try to make the horse learn your language, you may have success, but you're gonna have to make every horse along the way speak your language. If you add a little pressure to yourself and you learn how to speak the language of the horse, then you can talk to any horse around the world. Anytime you get a chance, you should come down and see us.
Yep, so you see how the pressure I'm putting on him is touch and release, touch and release, touch and release. And if he reared up, I'm going to keep that same rhythm. I realize that that's difficult. That's a hard pill to swallow for a lot of people. Notice I tell you the right way to do things, but I also tell you again and again, anytime that your horse's difficulty level is above your comfort level, you will not, you cannot fix that horse. The reason for that is we all talk about time. No trainers have great time. No, trainers have a calm mind, so they can do. You have the knowledge. Everybody here has the knowledge of working horse. Horses are simple, knowledge smart. What you don't have is the calmness in the storm. When things aren't going and the horse isn't doing what you want it to do, the ability to be able to stay calm and quiet in your mind, so you can apply the right methods and techniques and whatever you know. So you can have 40, 50 years of experience and knowledge and all. You see trainers. A trainer will be a trainer for 40 years. Great horses. One day they have a fall. Whenever they get recouped and healed up, they're never the same. I've seen it happen to many of trainers. They were great trainers. The moment they lost their confidence, they were not good trainers. The reason for that is not that they lost all their experience, it's not that they lost all their knowledge. They lost their confidence. When they lost their confidence, horses' difficulty level were above their comfort level. And as soon as you start getting tense and tight, you start trying to dominate and force the horse because you're afraid. That's it. As soon as the horse gets you emotional, as soon as the horse gets you tense and tight, you're gonna lose.
Once he figured out that he wasn't getting a release by rearing up or flipping over, all of a sudden he remembered his training and he was able to ride off, play soccer, go over obstacles, go wherever we ask at whatever speed we ask, walk, gait, canter.
I always want to be a superhero. I never got my
order to actually get the owner back on and give her another chance at it. And I'm so excited the progress that we've made. You can see her almost with tears in her eyes with,
you know what? Maybe he can fix them, because I've seen what he's done with the other horses.
And as your confidence and you start weighing again and again, your confidence level will grow and your comfort level will grow. But the day that you get out there, you get on a horse that you're not comfortable with, you already have a bad gut feeling, get off. Don't cry. It's not worth your life, it's not worth your limbs, it's not worth 6 months in the hospital. As soon as you get to a place where you're not comfortable, you should cry. Anytime I've ever been in a truck and I think, oh, I don't know if my truck's gonna make this trip. It doesn't. The difference between a car and a horse is when that car or truck breaks down, it doesn't move. When that horse breaks down, it doesn't stop.
Yeah.
See a little bit of difference right there? Ready to ride your leg?
and that glimmer of hope and the quality of life that we've added to the horse and gave him the opportunity to have a second chance of life, that's really gratifying. That's why we do what we do.
Sit back, stop. Release. There you go. Back up, step 2. Back. Yep. Touch and release. Touch and release. There we go. And release. Perfect. All right, go forward. Let's see what the board's open. There you go. Push forward. Only thing he touches is the inside rein. Whenever you want to keep him off the road. Go ahead. That's where we go. Push, push, push. Drop your hands. There we go. Drop your hands to that side. There you go. That's it. Up, up. There you go. All right, drop your hands again. Don't touch his face and let him go. Push, push, push. There we go. Sit back and ride. There we go. Perfect. Keep it up. Relax.
I'd like to go fast.
There you go. Got it on the right. Stop. Up, up, up. That's it. Up, 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 up. That's it. Just like that. Up, up, up. There it is. That's it.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to make noise. There we go. Now remember, you have a horse that's resistant. Your horse is rearing, your horse is bucking, you don't want to use 2 hands. Don't let him get sneaky. Right, there you go.
Yep, yep.
Make him uncomfortable. That's it, keep moving. That's fine. That's fine. Don't worry. Don't worry. Come to me. Come to me. Come to me. Come to me. Come to me.
Up, up.
Bring it to me. Over here. Down. Hold back. Hold close. He has one limit. Whenever his feet get sticky, you know what he's going to do. So stop worrying. Stop getting sticky. Okay, good job. Come to me for it. As soon as a horse doesn't want to go through the obstacle, you say, oh, buddy, you done messed up now. Now I don't care about the obstacle. Now he's going to work. He's telegraphing so much. Much pressure. That's it. Back out. That's it. You see how
You got it. Yeah.
Opportunity. That's it. Now back this way. That's it. Keep on speed moving. Work. Back this way. Go get it. Go get it. Attack. Attack. Make noise.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
just like to at that point. That's it.
Very nice, very nice. Woo-woo. Good job. Yeah.
And that's why we take the risks that we take and ride some of the world's worst problem horses, whether they're kicking or biting or bucking or doing whatever they're doing. We give it a go anyway because we really want to see the best for the horse at the end of the day.
It's been 3 weeks since Zeke was at the clinic with Michael Gascon, and I am just amazed at the progress that he's made. He's not pushing his tail anymore, he's not pawing anymore. He is just listening, and I've gotten control of him. I would suggest anyone to do the clinic with Michael Gascon because it's one day. The clinic was one day, and he made such improvements in Zeke's life. Look at me riding Zeke, loose rein, not a rear in 3 days. I'm so excited. In the back, totally relaxed, head down. Who'd have thought? Passing people even. I think that what I've taken away from this clinic is the knowledge of knowing how to do, to learn what I need to do to make Zeke a better horse. Before, I just didn't know what to do with him, and I tried for a year to get him to quit rearing, and I couldn't do it. So I just think that Michael has done amazing things, and he's given me the tools to do what I need to do, and I think Zeke has a future, which is amazing. My plans for Zeke in the future is I plan to ride the heck out of that little guy and enjoy myself. I'm a trail rider, and I am happy that I can go trail riding with friends and enjoy what I have learned and make Zeke a better horse. Thank you, Michael.